So, also just as not a disclaimer, viewer discretion, we'll say. Viewer discretion here, guys. This ghost story kind of consists of some form of child abuse that I'm going to be kind of discussing a little bit once or twice. Okay. You were warned. Back in 2008 or 9, I can't remember what year, but I was in high school. That was a long time ago, my goodness. Me and my brother, we went to this really weird school with this really weird teacher. For starters, she was like a brick and mortar teacher, very stern, very old and mean. She always wanted it to be just her being the teacher, her being the principal, her being the everything. She wanted everything to be in a one-room schoolhouse. She was odd that way. She was in her 70s, and yes, this is a ghost story, okay? I'm getting there. I'm trying to give you a background here. She was in her 70s, and she was just, like I said, brick and mortar, old and mean. Me and my brother, we went to school with her, unfortunately. It's weird because our school, like the one-room schoolhouse that we had with her, it was actually the basement of my dad's church that he goes to. So you have the church part on top, where, all the sermons go on, and all the singing and praising goes on. But in the basement of that church is where all of the ghostly stuff and all of the other stuff that I'm going to be explaining today went on. For starters, this teacher, I don't even know why this woman became a teacher, because she even admitted that not even her own children liked her. She was evil. Child abuse incoming. Remember how I mentioned the one-room schoolhouse setting? It was me. I was 16. There was my brother. He's a few years younger than me. And there were a few kindergartners. We were all being taught and graded by her in this one room. This one classroom. You know how little kids make accidents, right? They accidentally soil themselves. This teacher, at one point, she was so evil to these little kindergartners. The one kindergartner was like raising his hand. I need to go to the bathroom. She acted like she couldn't hear him. She acted like she couldn't see him needing help. And he just had the accident, and she made him sit in it for hours until school was over and his mother would come pick him up. She didn't even call his mother and be like, hey, your kid had an accident. Like, no, she made him sit in his own urine until 3 or 4 hours had passed and school was over and all the parents came to get their kids. Like, this is just how she was. This teacher thing, okay? Now, I found out very early on as a student that she was into some dark witchcraft stuff. Like really bad dark stuff. She had the ability to, I guess, have her soul leave her body while she herself, like the physical part would still be there, but like her spirit would be able to roam. And I say that because I did end up seeing her doppelganger, and when I was 16, mind you, and it scared me so bad. So I'm gonna try to give guys a visual here because this one-room schoolhouse thing is kind of confusing. Here's the schoolroom, okay? Here's the lunchroom. In the middle is the hallway. Down this way is also the hallway. You go from the lunchroom into the schoolroom. Down this way would be like where the bathrooms are and the lockers and stuff, right? So try to picture that. It's almost in the shape of a cross. Like, it's almost in the shape of a cross. Okay, so just kind of picture that in your head. This teacher was so stern. If we made a mistake in our math homework, she would take away our recess time and grab our homework and make us correct it. She would call them please corrects. Okay, she would write them on our paper. Please correct, please correct, please correct. One day I ended up getting one of these please corrects. So I was in the lunchroom and I finished my lunch. So I walked out to go back into the classroom to get inside my desk to get my work that I needed to work on. As I walked out of the classroom, I was in the hallway, okay? I looked down, because I'm holding my papers, and I just happened to look up, and I looked down to where the bathrooms and the lockers are. And I saw this teacher walking from out of the men's bathroom and into the women's bathroom. Now, this teacher, she had the kind of shoes that would make the flip, flop, flip, flop, flip, flop. So I'm standing there and I'm watching her come out of the men's room into the women's room, and I'm like, how did she get down there? I would have heard her shoes walking all the way down that way. How did she get down there without me hearing her? And how come I'm not hearing her shoes now? I'm thinking of this as I'm watching her walk. And again, it's only her and all of us kids in this one-room schoolhouse basement thing, okay? So I'm staying there in the hallway, holding my papers. So weird. Oh well, whatever. I walked back into the lunchroom. There she was, sitting at the lunchroom table, eating a sandwich, staring at nothing. Eating her food. I dropped all my papers. All the stuff I had to work on, I dropped it to the ground, and it brought her back into reality. It stopped making her stare. And she looked over, and I was just and I picked up my stuff and I walked over, sat with the other kids as they were finishing their lunch, and I was like, you guys, did she leave anytime? And all the kids told me no, she was sitting there the entire time. But now that I think about it, she couldn't have left anyway, because I would have seen it. I would have seen her at least come back into the break room. But my mind was just at that point, my mind was just, I wasn't really sure what I saw, because again, she's supposed to be alive. Why am I seeing this? So yeah, that was the first thing I experienced something when I was going to school with this woman, this teacher. It got worse because when I found out that she was doing dark magic stuff, she pulled me. No, like I said, I was the oldest in this classroom. I was 16. One day she pulled me aside as everybody was going into the break room to have their lunch. She pulled me aside and she's like, wait a minute, I want to talk to you. And I was like, okay. When everybody else went to the break room, she looked at me and she's like, Cassandra, do you realize this place is perfect for me and for what I need to do? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, many years ago, back in the 16, 17 1700s, dead children were buried underneath this church. It's perfect for what I need to do. I'm looking at her like, what? I was so scared. I'm like, why are you? I'm thinking to myself, like, why are you telling me this? She's like, shh, don't tell the others. But this is perfect for me, for what I need to do. She showed me in her desk, there was one drawer, and I saw like black candles in there, and I didn't know what a pentagram or anything was, but she showed me the symbol and everything she had, and I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, I want to eat. And I just wobbled off into the break room with all the other kids to eat. She started doing like black magic-y stuff after all of us kids went home. And a few weeks went by, and on one particular day I had to go to the bathroom. Now, we had a dress code. The girls had to wear a white shirt, like with a collar, a white shirt and skirts. So I went to the bathroom, and I'm in the bathroom stall doing my thing, and I happen to look up, like at the ceiling, and on top of the stall, like on the side of the stall, I saw a demonic head like sitting there for like a fraction of a second, just staring down at me, and then it just evaporated, it disappeared. I busted down that freaking stall and ran out the bathroom, still yanking up my skirt. I went home, and that's when I told my mother everything. My mom was like, I had told my mom about what she told me, what the teacher had told me prior about the dead children being buried under the church, and how perfect this place was for her to do her stuff because of the dead children that were buried underneath the church, and the stuff that she showed me inside her cabinet thing in her desk. And then this demonic head that, like, I told my mom everything, and I was crying because I was scared. I had no idea what was going on. And at first, I don't think my mom believed me. I mean, that's all parents, right? Maybe some, I'll say this, some parents, they have a hard time believing this stuff. I had to go to school the next day, and the next day, the teacher told me, she's like, Cassandra, I want you to come in the bathroom with me. I don't feel good. I didn't want to go back in there, but I had to because I had no other choice. I went in the bathroom with that teacher, and she started vomiting in the toilet. She came out, she started vomiting all over the sink. It got all on her skirt, and she was telling me, she's like, I don't think I'm doing something right here. I shouldn't be this sick. I shouldn't be throwing up all over myself. And I was like, I want to go. Those kids need a big kid in there. I was trying to make any excuse just to get away from that and go back with the kids. She's like, I don't want to be alone. I'm scared. And I was like, yeah, well, I bet those kids are more scared because they're hearing a lot of gurgling from this bathroom, and they don't know what's going on. And they need a big kid to be with them. She's like, oh, you know what, fine, go. And started throwing up again. I had to go in the classroom, and the kids were like, what's going on? What's that sound? And I had to explain to them, oh, she's just sick. I wasn't going to tell them everything because, again, they're just small kids. I'm not doing that. At this point, I felt like I had to protect these kids somehow. The teacher got done in the bathroom, and she came back, and she told me, she's like, now, she was weird. I mean, she's already weird because of all this stuff so far, right? But she always had a weird fetish with guys back in the 1700s. She wanted me to read out of my history book, and I think there was a picture of maybe, I think it was like Sir Lancelot or or some guy from history, and it was literally a drawing of him. And she's like, Cass, in front of all these kindergartners, isn't he a hottie? This woman is like 75 and she's looking at a drawing of some dude from back in the 1700s. Isn't he a hottie? And I'm like, the drawing in the history book? She's like, yeah, the guy. Isn't he a hottie? And I'm like, no, I don't think a drawing is a hottie. She continued practicing her dark magic in that basement and stuff after us kids left to go home with our parents. And one day she really messed up. Like something went wrong. Because she called my mother randomly. And my mom was like, she's like, oh, hey, what's up? Why are you calling me? And the teacher was like, Brenda, I think I did something really, really bad. I'm hearing things now. And then she just kept going on and on and on and on. My mom's on the other end like, what are you talking about? And all of a sudden, the teacher was like, oh my God, Brenda, do you know the 10 Commandments poster that I have hanging up in this classroom? Because this teacher, I don't know why, she had this very giant laminated paper of the 10 Commandments hanging up with sticky pins, like thumbtacks. She's like, oh my God, Brenda, do you know the 10 Commandments that I have hanging up on the wall? My mom's like, yeah, why? Right now, I'm watching all 4 thumbtacks being pulled out of them. And she just watched the 10 Commandments fall to the ground, and my mom heard it fall to the ground. And my mom was like, listen, I don't know what's going on here, but I have my kids to attend to. Click. I think that was when my mom kind of started believing what I was telling her about like the ghostly stuff. A lot of the parents found out that their children were being abused there. Like I had mentioned earlier, with the teacher purposely ignoring the kindergartners. I gotta go to the bathroom, and then them wetting themselves, and then the teacher making them sit in their own urine and stuff like that. Like this one little boy, he was deaf in one ear, and the teacher called his name out, but she didn't. Like she knew that he was deaf, and she called his name out in a whisper. She was doing this on purpose. Just calling his name out in a whisper. Calling his name out in a whisper. Calling his name out in a whisper. He couldn't hear because he was deaf. She came over to him and just slapped him right across the face as hard as she could. And he cried. And I was so enraged with anger after that. And his little brother was like, why would you do that to him? Like, you know he can't hear you. Why would you purposely whisper his name? And she looked over at the brother and she's like, you shut up. I know your brother heard me. Like, she was just, oh my God. So the parents eventually, like I said, they found out the abuse that their kids were being put through. And long story short with that teacher lost her teaching license. She was never allowed to teach again, ever. However, you guys, the basement is still very much haunted. The pastor of that church has since boarded up the entranceway to the basement. said that people would break in and take things and just destroy things down there. Let me ask you something. How many people do you know is going to drive down on a highway, pull over to a church, break in, and steal a couple hymn books? There wasn't even anything worth of value inside that basement. But the pastor claims that somebody kept breaking in, like busting the windows, and in that basement things were smashed, destroyed, broken. Some things were stolen, aka misplaced. I know what really went on down there. And so yeah, I don't know why he boarded up the entrance to the basement though. I guess, I don't know. But before he boarded it up, I had the chance to go down there and retrieve some things from my locker. And I went down there and, like, oh my god. The one end of the hallway where most of the satanic stuff happened with that teacher, that part of the hallway is blacker than black. The other end of the hallway, where like the bathrooms and stuff are, it's a little bit lighter. When I went down there to grab some of my stuff out of my locker, I looked down that hallway and it's almost like you feel something's gonna rush at you, like something's gonna come out of that darkness and come after you. I just snatched everything from my locker and I bolted upstairs, and the entire time I felt something was coming from behind me. I since then went to that church to hear my dad's pastor's sermon a few times, and I'm telling you, that evil thing that is still residing in the basement, it knows I'm there, because every time I went to listen to the pastor's sermon, it's almost like I can feel that thing, that demon thing under there that she had summoned, feels my presence. Like, it knows I'm there. Like, I feel like it and myself are aware that we both are there, if that makes sense. And because of that, I don't want to go back there. Like, I can't just, like, everything that happened, I just can't. Like, that was just, and like I said, the fact that there's nothing worth of value down there, but everything is constantly getting smashed and broken, misplaced. Like, chairs are being lifted and smashed, like, in that basement. I think I do have some pictures of that basement before it got boarded up. I gotta show you guys one day. Oh, actually, yeah, I think my mom has some. I think she might have some pictures of when I was, like 5 or 6 years old in that basement. Because it's weird as well, because in that same basement, I went to first grade in there. I was in first grade in that basement. A totally different teacher. The teacher was the pastor's wife. But I went to kindergarten in that basement. I mean, not kindergarten, sorry. First grade in that basement. And then I was in 6th grade in that basement. Honestly, I still have nightmares about that basement and everything that happened. After seeing, I presume it was maybe a doppelganger, that teacher, when I saw her walking from the men's bathroom into the female bathroom. That right there. I have nightmares about those bathrooms, especially, seeing the demon head on the thing. I have nightmares every now and then that those two bathrooms are portals to other realms, other realities or something. Like, I have nightmares about that all the time. I've only told my mom about this entire ghost story. I've only told her. I haven't told so insane, you're crazy, ghosts don't exist. No, you want to sit back and say ghosts don't exist because you are afraid of that concept. Like, you're afraid of that in general, you know? Just because you're afraid of it, it doesn't mean it's gonna go away, you know? Things exist, things are real, ghosts are real. I believe in ghosts and stuff. Like I said, I've had so many paranormal experiences ever since I was a child up until now. I'm a believer, and nothing's gonna change that. Hope I just made sense within that last minute. Anyways, I wanted to share that other ghost story with you guys because it seems that some people like my true ghost stories, so I'm gonna stick with that a little bit. So yeah, if you like this true ghost story, you want to hear another, you want to hear more, go ahead and give me a like or a comment. It doesn't matter which. Either a like or a comment will tell me that, you know, hey, I like this, I want another ghost story. It'll kind of give me that. So, and I will definitely jump right on it because this is fun. I enjoy, like, this is my hobby. I love and value my 3 wonderful subscribers. I want to laugh at that, I'm sorry. I love and value my 3 valuable subscribers. I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know, I just do, and like, this is my hobby. Like, doing ASMR myself is just my hobby. Like, I love doing it, and I want to succeed in it, even just a little. If I can get 5 subscribers, I'll be happy, okay? Like, this is something that I like to do, and it helps me relax after a hard day of whatever. I'm confident, okay? That's all I have for today's ghost story. Again, if you guys want to hear more ghost stories, true ghost stories, I gotta add that. True, absolutely 100% true ghost stories. Yeah, give me a comment, give me a like, let me know I want another one, so I can get to the recording and shoot the video. Also, I'm sorry that my video is kind of potatoey. I am working so hard on that. My income tax return came in, so I'm gonna use some of that to get, hopefully, like, a better recording equipment thing going on here. And then I gotta learn how to use it. This is gonna take a while, please bear with me. But anyways, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys have a great night. I hope this helped you relax. I hope you found this fascinating or relaxing in some point or another. I will catch you next time. Bye bye, guys.